You
Quick.
guys choosing the weirdest lines to open streams with.
Do you think if like,
I
because
know.
we're talking about Emma Stone in bed, do you think if like you make her come, her eyes will get closer together?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
And Nikki's leaving.
Oh, it's funny as poor Emma Stone.
Hi Brayden, how's your stream going? You're really quiet. I can't hear you.
I'm also not really paying attention to most of it.
Best.
And I just hear little snippets of things.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of.
It's Shayla does the same thing when she can hear my conversations. She's like, I'm gonna
just like,
listen to half of that.
I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've checked out. Goodbye.
I'm like, that's fair.
I
It's
wasn't
probably for
on
the
camera
best.
at the time, but I kind of
But
wish
you
I
were-
was when you made
You
that
were
comment.
streaming.
I
Which
was
comment?
streaming. The stream heard what you said. I just wasn't on camera
Which
yet.
comment? Which comment?
The whole thing.
The whole thing? That doesn't narrow it down. I need you to say verbatim what I said.
No, I'm good,
so that
thank
I
you.
fully, so that I fully, there's no confusion. I
No,
need to
I'm
fully
quite well.
understand what you're
I'm
asking.
alright,
Okay.
thank you.
Look,
What
to be
comment-
fair, I don't think I've heard Brayden say anything like, kind of like, I guess, vulgar in that way. So it would be very, very funny for that to be the first time I hear Brayden say something like that.
specifically pertaining to Emma Stone. Is it bad that sometimes I get Emma Stone and Margot Robbie confused?
Look, I think they're both attractive, so
They have very
either
similar
way-
features.
either way for me, that'd be a fun time.
Look. Yeah, fair enough.
Brayden, your thoughts?
Emma Stone is a better actress than Margot Robbie, though.
Brayden
I
has
don't
his
think-
hands,
I don't think
hands in
that's.
his hand right now.
I don't think that's a hot take. I don't think that's a hot take. Emma Stone's a better actress than Margot Robbie. Changed my mind.
I think Emma Stone has more range,
I agree, 100%.
you know, whereas like you can kind of typecast Margot Robbie a little bit.
Yeah, I think she was good in Wolf of Wall Street.
I did, yeah, because she was
And
like
then-
naked for most of it.
Well, not just that. I think she was just good in. She's good at acting in it. But then I watched Suicide Squad and I was like, I kind of want to hit her in the back of the head with a ball peen hammer. Like, this is
Well-
not a good Harley Quinn.
I think she did the best that she could. I think everybody did
100%.
as good as with the tools that they had.
Yeah, I think 100%. I
Like-
think, what was the director's name? David Ayer or something?
Yeah, I
Mm.
think people forget that like actors can only do so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Same
Like-
with same with directors and stuff. Like they can only do so much.
Okay, no, okay, hang on. Actors, yes. Directors, no. Directors have the
Well,
control over the whole thing. If a film
Yeah,
is
no.
bad, blame the director.
But sometimes though it's the studio, it's not the director, because the studio's the one that's paying the money.
I
So
will
the
give you
studio
that.
could
There
go,
are
You know,
definitely
like
movies
director,
that.
you,
Yeah,
you can only work with this kind of like budget, and the director has to go,
Yeah.
fuck, how do I?
we want this
Alright.
kind of movie. Make this kind of movie, and it's like, well, the script
Fine.
doesn't call for that, and they're like, we'll change the
Yeah.
script. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I get
It's
that.
like, you know, or like the studios like cut half the movie and then reshoot it with somebody else, like they
Yeah.
did with Batman vs Superman
Yeah.
and Justice League.
Oh no. Okay, so hang on. That Justice League was a different story. That was changed, but that wasn't studio reasons. That was because Zack Snyder's daughter committed suicide. I think he needed time off.
Yeah, there was that, and I think they used that time. The studio used that time to do extra reshoots. To be
Yeah.
honest, and
Well,
they
you can
got
tell.
fucking
You can tell.
Yeah.
And okay, real
And-
quick.
because they got
You
go on.
can definitely tell that they did reshoots for Justice League, but fuck anybody that took the time to go and figure out where the reshoots were. Because
it's not that
people
hard.
can tell. No, there are some that are like pretty tricky to tell. Because like the Jason Momoa does not have a tribal tat like Aquaman in real life, so that's a fake
No.
tat. But people were going, oh, you can tell it's a reshoot because Jason Momoa's sleeve has a different amount of triangles on it in each shot, and I'm like, for real? if you're like watching a movie
Secure the objective.
and going, how many triangles does this guy have on his arm?
Securing Charlie.
That's looking for reasons to not like it though.
Okay.
They've taken the lead.
Look, that is though that like just looking for a reason to not like it though. Like
Yeah,
there's a
no,
lot of
exactly.
people in that movie where I was
They're
just
like
like,
the
Underway.
watch that
Marvel-
movie. And you're like,
Yeah,
I
they're like
hate
the Marvel dick suckers. And shit.
Yeah.
Controlling
Which,
Bravo.
alright. I don't understand.
He locked
Movies
down.
are movies, why do you have to be loyal to your brand?
Losing B.
look, because it's this comic book tribalism.
Locking
Oh,
down Charlie.
Yeah, look, I get it. You know, it's the same thing with like WWE and AEW. You know, it's like
Okay.
if you like AEW, you're a fake fan, I guess.
Sending stun.
Brayden, your thoughts on people hating AEW?
In progress.
Don't get me started, please.
Alright, well, no, okay, sorry. Brian and I have ranted for this one. So, we'll get you started. Tell us about your tribalism
Losing B.
with AEW and how much of a mark you are for
Losing Bravo.
Oh look,
and how much you like your Jaguars.
AEW, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
I don't understand is how people complain about
Claim the advantage.
WWE
Now
fans
hold it.
complain about AEW and be
Losing
like,
Alpha.
oh no, they're terrible. But then the second an
Losing A.
AEW person jumps to WWE,
Mm.
suddenly they
Oh, thank
immediately know
God.
who they are and they immediately
Yeah.
know everything about them.
No, okay,
Like
it's like,
Penta.
Losing Bravo.
it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like,
Well, even
the whole
Jake
thing,
Hogan-
like, atheists read the Bible more than Christians do. I think WWE fans watch AEW more than AEW fans do.
Yeah, because they're watching it to hate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
they're
Like,
literally
I
just
watch it.
looking for things
death
to.
matches.
No, 100%. That's why I don't give a shit. Wrestling is wrestling. Just do good wrestling.
Bravo.
If
And
WWE
that's-
does good wrestling, I'll pay attention to that. If AEW does good wrestling, I'll pay attention to that.
Losing
The
B.
problem is though, is that consistently you got a 3-hour show on WWE, right? That has way worse wrestling on it for that 3 hours than what AEW does.
Oh man.
In their
okay.
2
They're taking
hours,
C.
and AEW has like double the matches too.
Yeah, this week I
Yeah,
watched.
because AEW doesn't
Eyes
need
on
to put
field
like
upgrade.
72 hours of ads in.
Yeah, exactly. So this week I watched, like on Tuesday, I watched Monday Night Raw for the first, like all the way through for the first time in 10 years. It
Mm.
was a fucking chore.
Yeah, it's slow.
And it was a good episode of Raw for the most part. It
This
was
is the
good.
thing. Like,
You know-
I'm never going to complain about the wrestling that WWE does, because
Right.
the wrestling side of things is fine. It's
Yeah.
everything else.
Everything else. Everything
Yeah,
else.
look, you can't really fault them too much, right? Because like WWE is seen as like the best of the best, right? And like for all intents and purposes,
I don't
like
know.
you have to be.
I
the
have
best.
heard
Why
that
can
AEW
this
is where
elite
the
keep
best
up
wrestling.
with a ghost?
Look,
Why is
I,
this elite keeping up with my ghost?
I get the argument for that, Brandon, but you get what I mean, right? Like it's the biggest company in the world. That you can definitely make an argument for it. You have to be the best in some way, shape, or form to be a part of that, right? Or like you have to be on top of your game to be a part of that.
Yeah.
In that sense, right? Maybe that's a better way to put it. Be at the top of your game.
Hot
Losing
take.
Charlie. Location secure.
Yeah.
Maintain current posture.
Yep.
And I think
Oh, that's how I trigger
I-
C4.
I think it was good in like the first week or two, and then that was it.
no, I think
think
the
what was
first
good
week was
was
actually pretty telling. The production value, because they were
Fair.
fucking up. They were fucking up. They were like cut to black in the middle of matches. They were like doing shit camera angles and all this other stuff, and then the audio fucked up and things like that.
Yeah, fair.
That didn't, as shit as Kevin Dunn was, and as like ADHD as he made the camera work feel,
Concussion grenade out.
he didn't fuck up that bad, or that often,
Bravo.
or at all really. Like when can you, other than like AJ Styles' debut, where he just like filmed Roman
Roman's
Reigns' really
face just got.
confused face.
Oh.
Yeah. When did Kevin Dunn fuck up really bad? I don't think he ever did. But
This
whoever's
was.
got in charge of
I don't
production
think
at the
it was
moment-
Kevin Dunn, but I refer you to the moment where Drew McIntyre's music was meant to hit and then it didn't.
No, that
When?
was
When?
that
When?
was after. That was the Damian Priest match you're talking about, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that was after. That was after Kevin Dunn left.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was
Yeah.
So was
bad.
WrestleMania with all the issues
That
at
was
WrestleMania
bad.
too.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
one hurt my soul.
I think
because I'm just
100%.
like, that's the kind
Yeah,
of
I
spot
hate-
that I would be obsessing about all night to make sure I got it
Yeah.
perfect.
yeah. So I absolutely hated Kevin Dunn's camera work, especially. I think it was really all over the place, and it was actually kind of hard to follow some matches at certain points.
Wasn't it like a thing
But-
that he purposely, like they purposely cut when somebody would hit the mat so that people didn't get an idea as to how to bump
Yeah,
properly?
no. So it was in like high impact top rope moves. They would cut away.
Yep.
So it was like well, like you know how
Like, they would have
they'd
to
show a
camera-
move, they'd show a move in slow motion.
Yeah, and then they'd
They
speed
would
it up
cut away
just
just
as-
before, yeah, just as there was an impact, and it was like, well, no, what's the point of the slow mo? I don't want to see the flip. I want to see the impact in slow motion.
I also
I'll give you
noticed
credit.
like
The fucking back elbow that Seth Rollins gave Cesaro at Mania 38, they kept that fully in slow motion, and that looked like it fucking killed Cesaro. That was great. And that was the only time I will go, good job, Kevin Dunn.
Who's Cesaro?
Sorry, Antonio, but, no, he's not even Antonio Cesaro anymore. He's fucking Claudio Castagnoli.
but
Oh,
Claudio
Claudio.
Castagnoli.
Oh man, what a guy.
that's
Shut up,
that's who he
shut up.
that's who he look, Joe, he was Claudio Castagnoli before he was Cesaro.
I know.
Just to be that guy.
I know. I was so high on Claudio just before he left WWE. Like that last little run he had, like wrestling Seth, wrestling Roman.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
was like,
It's just Vince never knew when to pull the trigger on him. I think he
no,
could have
Vince,
done.
Vince knew exactly when to pull the trigger on him,
He just didn't.
but that he just chose not to because he's a
Yeah,
cunt.
like it's like when you have the
hot take, wrestling hot
Face-off
take. Vince
domination.
McMahon's a cunt.
Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take, man. Like, because you think about it, like when he was in the bar with Sheamus, like they were both at their hottest. Like you
Oh,
could
how
have.
good was the
Securing
bar?
the
Like
could've
no one ever
done
talks
something.
about it, but how good was the bar?
It was really good. You could have done something really cool there, like especially like towards the end, you could have like given one of them a title,
Yeah.
right? And then you could have had them fight for the title against each other,
Yeah,
and like
how
it,
good was their best of 7 before that?
It was pretty
before the bar
good.
was a thing?
Target deleted.
it was pretty good. Like, just you could have had a cool story, I think, because you have also all that history with them too. And then it's like they've finally put the differences aside. They get together as a team, and now they're you know, like fucking
They
one of
should
them's
have been-
jealous.
Yeah, they should have been fucking unbeatable because Cesaro's great, Sheamus is great.
Oh, banger after banger after banger, man.
Bang. And now it's burger after burger after burger. How good is
Okay.
Drew McIntyre? I love
I
Drew
love-
McIntyre as face, but I want him to be my dad now.
Charlie secured.
To be fair though, since Vince has left, Triple H has just let him do like
Yeah, he's just
become
like, Drew,
unhinged.
go and be an asshole on social media.
He's been a heel before under Vince McMahon, and it was still like it was good, but you
Get
could
out
tell he
of
was
the
holding.
way!
Taking the lead. Stay on task.
Yeah, they're kind of letting him be like unhinged.
Yeah,
Like
I
all
love
the
it.
all the shit posting he did with CM Punk, like that shirt. God,
I
love it.
love. Oh fuck! Like Anthony didn't believe that it was an actual shirt sold by WWE.
That was my favorite interaction between the two of you. Just him
It
being
was-
like, "Where did you get that?" And he was just like, "They sold it." And he's like, "No, they didn't."
WWE.com.
You're like, look at the shirt. It has the WWE official tag on it, man. Like,
Yeah. No, like my favorite thing Drew has done since turning heel has been the
not
fuck
win the
CM,
title.
fuck CM Punk as a cunt thing he did with the fan. Like someone
Yeah,
was
that
like,
was
can you sign my CM Punk shirt? And he's just like, fuck CM Punk's a cunt. And I was
We're
just like,
losing Alpha.
Vince would have fired him for that. Like that was on someone's Twitter.
Oh, you
Vince would've-
imagine every time. Like, I'm sure every time at WrestleMania last year, The Rock said the F word. Like,
Oh god.
fucking. I'm sure
Vince.
Vince. I know, but I'm sure Vince was like shaking his head, and then I'm sure at the it was Chamber with Cody Rhodes. I'm sure he was like, what are they doing over there?
Man.
They're
Oh, yeah, he
fucking
probably...
it all up.
I'm surprised.
The
he
irony of
wasn't
him saying that
used
for
before.
that reason.
Losing A.
Yeah.
I am
That's-
doing
that's a lot,
shockingly
though.
here because I'm trying to get these C4
Like-
kills. I just want to say that to
I
me
am
while watching my
surprised.
screen.
Taking Bravo
I'm surprised
underway.
that like there wasn't a news report the next day of like Vince McMahon
B
found
secured.
dead.
You're falling
And it was
behind.
like
I
this
know,
sort of
right?
heart attack. I'm like, okay.
But you know what though? It's like hearing him criticize wrestling in that way, especially because like he had like probably the raunchiest product in it
Yeah.
at one point.
What
is
he was
like
doing to
listening
like
to-
Sable and Chris
Yeah.
Jones and like fucking
It's like
Casey
listening-
Taylor.
But it's like listening to Bubba Ray talk about deathmatch stuff, and he's like, "Oh, it's just too violent." It's like, dude, you're
off.
part of the most violent like thing ever. Look, you mightn't have been that violent, but you were wrestling New Jack, you were wrestling like
Yeah.
some real hardcore motherfuckers, man. Like, you were in the ring during the mass transit incident, man. Like, I don't think you can talk.
Yeah, exactly. Like, shut up. It's like if fucking Chris Benoit got on a podcast and was like, I think like child murder is pretty cringe.
Jeez.
No, but for real, like Vince McMahon going, this wrestling product is bad. It's like,
Look, I get
alright,
the point you're making. I get the point you're making.
I feel like
It's just
that was
it's
a
real
brave way to
extreme
frame
point.
it.
Okay, look. Well, lots of people have been comparing Vince to Benoit recently. Just with
Have
like
they?
the. Oh yeah, heaps of people. Still.
Fair enough.
And it's like, I kind of get it because, you know, oh no, this person did a terrible thing and I was really close to them. But at the same time,
Yeah.
it,
I get what you mean
like,
now when you say that.
even like, okay, let's say we were around and we were like big wrestling fans back in 2007 with Chris Benoit thing. When you found out Chris Benoit did a murder suicide, you would have been surprised. You would have been like, oh,
I
God,
was
that's
very
terrible.
surprised. I went to school, I was in year 3, 2003, went to school, and a bunch of the kids told me, and I was like, wait, Chris
Yeah.
Benoit did what? Because I
Yeah,
was a wrestling
right.
fan in 2007.
Exactly. So but here's the difference between Chris Benoit and Vince McMahon. When I was told that Vince McMahon was a sex offender and a sex trafficker,
You weren't really
at no,
confused, were
at
ya?
no point did I go,
Huh.
oh my god, I'm so shocked, I'm surprised. Vince, how could you?
You
I
kind of
was
just
like,
go, at that point, you kind of
glad
just
they
go, yeah, no, that tracks.
Yeah, I'm
you're
like,
this
I was
is
just like,
coming-
I'm glad they finally caught him.
Yeah.
You're like, this is coming from the dude who did the whole angle where Triple H fucked a dead body, where he was trying to kiss his daughter.
Yeah,
Where he was trying to say that
trying
he-
to push for being his daughter's baby daddy.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
He was
yeah,
trying
I
to say,
remember.
he was like, and then when she said, no, you're my dad, that's weird. He was like, okay, what about Shane, your brother?
Yeah. How about your brother, my son?
Well, it's not your dad.
Yeah, my son, who I gave life to with
Locking
my
down Charlie.
bits. He's
with
just
my
a weird,
plums.
he's just a weird, creepy man. And also,
Well,
someone,
I kind of miss it though. Kind of miss the,
Yeah.
the energy he would
Yeah.
bring to Raw
Unhinged.
sometimes.
I can't,
Yeah.
I can't agree with you. I'm very sorry, Brian. I would like to, but I can't.
when he would rock up on Raw in like 2006, 7, and 8,
This
you
is
just
not-
never knew what was gonna happen.
When
Yeah,
he
and
would
then
rock up
rock
on
up.
SmackDown in 2019 and be like, I'm sorry, Kofi, I won't give you a title shot, even though you've earned it just because.
Yeah, man.
That energy, that great energy of like, I'm very tired and very saggy.
Do you not remember that No Mercy pay-per-view where he made Triple H to fight for the title 3 times?
Wasn't it
And
5?
No, it was against. Oh, it was him versus Umaga, him versus Orton, and then
Yeah.
him versus Umaga again at the end of the night in a last man standing match. I'm pretty sure.
Bro, I
it
am
was a different-
lagging
and-
so hard in this game right now.
and then
it
I'm
was a
pretty sure
different-
it was.
I think I'm
Triple
thinking of a
H-
different show.
Yeah, I think so. And then I'm pretty sure it started with Umaga with the title, and it ended with Umaga
Don't-
with the title. So it was
Don't
like,
you mean you
what
manga?
was the point?
Like,
Yeah,
you
man,
just
you manga,
defended
yeah.
it. You manga. Thanks, William Regal. Fucking Tommy cunt. That's
And,
why
like,
I like what
you,
you do.
you
This
could
is
have just had Triple H lose the first
I don't
time.
know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. They just want to make Randy Orton lose.
Losing A.
Well, I think they just wanted to bump up the counts for Triple H.
Yeah. Oh, look,
Like-
probably. I'm actually
They-
surprised that Triple H isn't tying Ric Flair's
Controlling
record.
Bravo.
Let's have a look. Let's see.
How many world titles does Triple H have?
Langley won't complete.
Round match. Pull
Yeah.
out.
I
I'm
think
actually
Fugitives remain at
like
large.
I haven't like I like Triple H and I was a Triple H fan back when he like wrestled. Like I think
he's just a technically sound wrestler.
Yeah,
who
he
is
was-
really good.
he
really
was
good
my
promo.
first ever favorite wrestler.
Yeah, he's a lot of people's
But-
favorite.
Yeah.
First ever wrestler.
Yeah, he's been replaced several times over by now by like Undertaker, Keith Lee, and
Yeah.
recently Ilya Dragunov.
Big number.
But
14
fuck Nicholas.
times.
14
14
times.
times.
Oh, so he's kind of close.
Yeah.
So like,
Pretty good,
so
yeah.
there was like
My
a period of
thing-
time where I was kind of like, go away Triple H, and then
Yeah.
when he's like, I can never wrestle again because my heart will kill me. I was like, oh no, but I kind of want you to wrestle again.
But the thing with Triple H
Kind
is,
of
like
makes
I
it
said,
sound
like,
like you're going,
he's
Joe.
perfect.
Oh, but I want
He's
you to
a
die.
he's a
No,
perfect.
not like that.
You know when coaches tell you though, like that you could be doing all the cool moves in the world, but if you're not technically sound, people won't care about you.
Yeah,
It's like Triple H is a perfect example as to just where being technically sound and being a good storyteller can get you.
yeah. Like, when have you ever seen Triple H botch a move?
Never, but like
Never.
you watch his matches are very simple, but
Yeah.
like he's got you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Invested
No,
in the
100%.
story.
100%. I want to see that arsehole lose.
Yeah, especially because it's like, because he just do shit. It's like in 2008 when he just like fucking ran through Randy Orton's house. You're just
Yeah.
like, I need to see this match.
Yeah, like, oh my god. I mean, the match turned out to be pretty shit, but you know,
What? Dude,
like,
no, but that's the thing though. Nobody talks about Triple H matches. People talk about Triple H angles.
exactly. They're like, how good was this story involving Triple H? The matches
Exactly.
may not have been the best.
And
But-
how many times do you hear people go, Triple H was the best match I had was against Triple H?
Yeah, that's
Unless
the thing.
it was like a Hell in the Cell match or like something
What
like
fucking once? I think I remember once. Jim Cornette said like, Triple H was never the top guy. He was the guy that wrestled the guy that made all the money. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that means they trusted him with the top guys because
Yeah,
he
that's-
was
look,
such a
it's a
good
good-
wrestler. Like,
that. It's
that's
a good
not.
spot to be in.
I know you're having a go at him because you don't like him, Jim.
but you
that's
wouldn't
not-
have your top guy if you
Shit.
don't have that guy.
That's not like, yeah. Think about it. That's not really
I
an
know what you mean.
insult.
Are you
No.
able to do 100 push-ups?
Definitely not.
Maybe we could try.
Why?
For a reason I can't say.
Okay. I could try probably. I have to get there. Not all at once.
The only match I would say is like up there in terms of like best matches, and it is a Triple H match, is the 3 Stages of Hell match.
I would actually go.
But again, it's the story that's being told around that match because it's the
Yeah.
climax of the the end of DX story.
My favorite Triple H match would probably be Mania 30.
Is that the one where
Daniel-
like 2
Daniel
seconds
Bryan.
in, Shawn Michaels super kicks Trips? And Cena's just kind of standing there being like,
No, that's not 3
Oh.
Stages of Hell. That was just a triple threat.
oh wait,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, I
Three
heard
Stages
three.
of Hell
I heard
was-
3 stages
it
of
was-
hell and just like thoughts. in my
No,
head.
No, what was it? It was
was-
like it was a normal match, then a hardcore,
Then a ladder match. No, it
then
was
a
a
ladder
ladder.
match.
It was ended in a steel cage, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, you might be right. You're right.
I was gonna
But
say,
no,
I feel like
um,
it ending in a ladder match is an odd choice.
Yeah.
Just the
And-
title
So-
suspended above the ring. What happens if somebody wins?
No, but, like, as weird as it is to
was-
say-
No, it was street fight, steel cage, then a ladder match.
Right. But as weird as it is to say, I feel like Triple H is an underrated wrestler. Like, he gets a lot of shit, and I don't think he deserves all of it. Because like people always go, fuck Triple H, the reign of terror in the early 2000s, and I'm like, he wasn't the one calling the shots. He's not like.
The reign of terrorizing.
Look,
Oh god.
you're also talking about like we also don't know what the backstage situation looked like.
No, that's
though.
true. Yeah, because he was married to Stephanie at the time.
And look, he
Some would
could have
say
been
he
throwing
still
his
is
weight
now.
around
Whoa.
because as well, whether he's dating Steph or not, he was a top guy in the company for a few years at that point. So
100%, absolutely.
he
no,
could
he's-
have been throwing his weight around too. On top of that,
yeah.
look, he might not have been, and I agree with your point too. Like at the end of the day, decisions come down to Vince.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And
Vince takes part of the blame. You can't lie that all on Triple H. But
Yeah,
there's
if
also
decisions-
aspects I think we'll never know.
I would always say Vince is shockingly. He has his moments of non-bias. Like
Whoa!
fucking Mania 27, he fined
my
Triple H and The
God.
Undertaker for the unprotected chair shot to the head.
Yes.
Like, that's not, to me, that reads as someone who wouldn't go, I'll put the title on him because he's my son-in-law. You know? He was always like, he always made Shane and Stephanie really work for their positions. I don't,
Yeah.
like, I don't want to give Vince props.
Well, I get what you
but I
mean by that.
don't think he really believes in nepotism all that much.
No, I get what you mean because there's been multiple times where he's fired Shane.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like him and Shane have had a very spotty relationship publicly because of how because he didn't like what Shane did in
Yeah.
a certain match or with a certain match or whatever, right? So I get it. I get that. I could agree to that, but there's definitely times where you can see where he has a big bias. I mean, like, not even just with like his own kids, but like with like wrestlers that he's built up versus wrestlers who
Yeah.
he hasn't. Like you look at Daniel Bryan, right? Daniel Bryan should have been a multiple-time world champion in WWE.
well, luckily he
And-
was.
Well, like more than what he was, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, he's
no, I
despite
get
been,
what you're
like,
Vince's
saying,
best
yeah.
effort.
Yeah, despite Vince's
Yeah.
best efforts, the men who owned the company and made the decisions.
well, and that's the
At the
thing.
end of the
Vince
day-
didn't really want to put the title.
No, I know, but like,
Times.
think about it. At the end of the day, like, as much as Vince did not want to do that, he did it. Anyway.
Yeah, after the
Yeah,
entire
yeah.
crowd overtook,
I think it-
like, and
Yes.
kind of forced his hand.
It took it to become really like, if we don't do this, we're gonna lose fans. Like, yeah, I think it was getting to that point, where
Yeah.
people like, we're not gonna tune in anymore. And it's
Yeah,
like,
Definitely.
what's, the,
No,
what's
that's-
the point of me watching if the guy I care about the most isn't even going to be on the show?
Alright, well, if
Yeah.
that's the case, then I will go. Excuse me, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. I've noticed that Ilya Dragunov is not currently wrestling. Can you please make him heal very quickly from his leg injury? I think he's got a torn ACL or something. Please make
yeah.
him heal immediately and have him beat Cody Rhodes.
Please make him heal.
clean.
Triple H also
Make him.
Look, I wouldn't stress about Ilya because Triple H has a big bias for the NXT guys.
Oh, dude.
And I think Ilya will be fine.
To anyone
I
watching
think I've
the
told this
stream
story
right
before.
now, it's not your stream. It's just this game is lagging that hard.
Bad stream quality, Braden. Bad stream quality. Fix it.
Oh, it's not the stream
Um,
quality. It's bad game.
When Ilya
People are like
Dragunov Ilya
People-
Dragunov beat Walter for the UK title, I was watching it for the so I didn't watch it live, but I went and watched it that night. And I was lying in bed, and my room in the share house I was living in at the time was right next to my housemates. And
We
I
have
had
not died.
I died once. I've died once.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna die a lot more. I'm gonna have to go to bed soon. That's fine. I'll pick
Oh,
up
okay.
on
Yeah,
Funny you guys saying that you've died once, and I'm like, oh right, you guys are playing a different game. Like, damn, you're on the game I'm in, and you've died once. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, we are in the game you're playing, Braden. Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Reach.
That's
Call of
it.
Duty Reach.
Call of Duty Reach. No, but like, I had to try and not lose my shit when Ilya won. Like
No, I get what you mean.
I was so like, oh my god, he just made Walter tap out.
Taking a shot.
Holy crap.
Bye.
See, I think the difference as well between Vince and Triple H is like, don't get me wrong, like Vince would get it right, and he built up some monumental moments, and it was great. But it's definitely like in very finite amounts. Like when you actually go back and watch weekly wrestling instead of like certain pay-per-views, you realize how much shit there is to find the diamond. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Whereas
no,
I
you
feel
gotta
like
go through a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, where I feel like with Triple H, like he hits the nail on the head a bit more often, and when he does hit it, he really hits it. So it's like so much more of an emotional high.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to give Vince props. Absolutely not. I think he's a terrible human being, and I think he misunderstands the business that he ran more than anyone. All I'm trying to say is he's definitely not the.
I don't know. I should have got a kill.
He's not as bad as a wrestling mind as people say that he is.
No,
He's not
No.
a
I
genius.
mean, look-
He's not a genius like a lot of
No.
people say he is.
no, he's no Paul Heyman.
Yeah, but well, all right. Let's. Paul Heyman's status is arguable as well. But like,
I'm a bit easy to understand, so I'll ride Paul Heyman's dick
that's
till the
fair.
day he
I
dies.
won't say Paul
Wow.
Heyman was bad, but I will say he was a liar.
Hostile.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Look, depending.
He kind of fucked people over a little bit.
Yeah.
No, he's there was a like
If you believe him, he did.
if you believe him, he's 100% honest.
The brain stream.
But like
That's a kill.
yeah, Vince is like he's very strange. He's this.
Yes, no, I get it. You got it. The thing is though, and this is the thing, and I think this is where like erasing people from history is a bad idea. I think you have to give Vince a little bit of credit because wrestling wouldn't be where it is today if he didn't do what he did with the WWE.
Correct. But there's a
You know
point.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. But there's a point in history, in wrestling history, where Vince's involvement became detrimental.
is the detriment.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
became a
still,
it
because
was-
of him, because of him though, that is where you got things
Yeah.
like your TNAs in the early 2000s and,
Yeah.
and like late 2000s. You get
Well,
your AEWs and you get
yes.
that
Incoming
lull
subjects.
where New Japan was like fucking fire. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, New Japan's always been fire. Like, there's no. I can't
it
think of
has,
a point
but there's,
where I can go.
it's just there's
Gee,
been points.
that was not a good year for New Japan.
Oh, look, actually, no. The year where everybody went to AEW, where Okada and last year.
Oh, okay,
once
hang on.
it got
Wait,
a
no,
bit-
no, 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 no. Right after the pandemic, where they put the title on Evil, not a good call. Evil's
He has his strengths. Maybe
Nah.
being a world champion, maybe not, but he has his strengths.
He has his strengths.
But
Being a world champion wasn't one of them, but he does have my problems.
It wasn't it. That wasn't it.
no, but I
look,
think there
okay.
are things of New Japan that
100%.
that were like, wait, that's like the peak. You know what I mean? You're like, this
Yeah.
is way better than everything else.
No, but like, so just continuing on the point on Vince,
Yes, sir.
he did more for wrestling than I think a lot of people give him credit for.
When I post this video, I'm just gonna label it as WWE podcast, like wrestling
Yeah.
podcast,
Yeah.
featuring COD gameplay.
Like Vince did more for wrestling than a lot of people give him credit for, especially now because people don't want to give him any credit.
In
But-
fairness, have
Yeah.
you seen the guy
100%.
wrestling?
Yeah, no, 100%. I totally understand that. He doesn't deserve the credit he gets. Anyway,
Not on our side.
but
Finish him.
But you can't erase it from history either. Like,
No, you can't erase it from
you
history.
kinda-
Hostile subjects.
No, but there was like a period in time, like in the early 2000s to mid 2010s, where
Yeah.
WWE was bad.
Yeah.
Like with the
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Super
I know what you
Cena,
mean.
Brock Lesnar
Yeah.
title kidnapping.
I wasn't in. So I wasn't into wrestling. So there was a good time frame there in that like that 2010 to like 2019, where I didn't watch wrestling. It
And
wasn't
that's- I
until
don't blame
AEW.
you.
Eyes on hostile scrambler.
Yeah, it wasn't until AEW came.
Yeah,
that I started
AEW
paying
and
attention.
Punk's coming to AEW was what got me back to wrestling.
We're gonna finish this.
Yeah,
game.
and like,
Busting and flushing.
yeah. I think though that that's why I like AEW so much as well, because it reignited the excitement and the passion.
Yeah, it made WWE get better.
Yeah, it made them work.
Yes, but that's the thing though, right? Like, but this is where like I have the argument with people where they're like, no, you know, yeah, you're right, it was bad, but it needed to be bad for it to get bad. You don't get Will Ospreay without WWE being bad. You don't get Kenny Omega without WWE being bad. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
I
you
don't, I
do,
don't know if I
actually.
could say that. I think you.
No,
I think you could say
he was
I,
in-
no,
he was in-
I think,
He was in New Japan
think-
before
but I
the AEW.
he was in PWA before
yeah, no,
Yeah.
AEW.
can I mention, actually, Kenny Omega was in WWE before he was in New Japan.
Oh shit, he
It's
was
just
too,
he
wasn't
didn't
he?
last very long.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He just got booted. But that's the thing though. Like, what I mean is though, is that, like, you probably do get it, but you get it in a very different way.
Imagine
Yeah.
being the
And
guy that made the decision
it's-
in WWE
Get
to get
rid
rid
of
of
Kenny
Kenny
Omega.
Omega.
John
Yeah, I know,
Laurinaitis.
I know,
John
I know.
Laurinaitis.
I know.
For sure, it was John Laurinaitis.
Because it's like, and it's like, can you argue? You can't argue whether or not that would be any better or worse. But look at the positive of it, I guess, of being like, I think how it ended up is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I think
Like-
it's all in the best spot that it could have been
Well,
in. You know what
I mean,
out-
outside
yeah,
of
I think-
the real glass moment.
Yes, that was not great.
Yes.
That was-
But like
it
you
was
think
not a great
about
day.
the
But
best, you think about the best years of WWE. That's the best years they've had are when they've had competition.
100%.
100%.
Because
Like,
it makes them
WC
work harder.
WCW, like Monday Night Wars, they were like working their ass off to make their product better. And then as soon as AEW
Yep.
starts up, well, not as soon as, it did take them a little while to get going because I think Vince was a stubborn old
But even
cow. But
even going into
which is the nicest
even
thing I
going
can say
into
about
like
Vince right now. But like,
even going into like 2005, 6, and 7, WWE ramped up their game because that was when TNA was
when they
like
started,
peaking.
yeah, because I think what
Well, they
like,
started up
even
in
though
2001. but-
even though Vince said he never saw TNA threat, I think he kind of did because it was they got Kurt Angle, they got
There was
Hulk Hogan, they got Sting,
He was
they
losing.
got yeah. I mean,
and like he was losing some still like some good guys. Like you said, like
Yeah.
Kurt Angle was like in his prime. He was still in his prime then.
yeah. Christian,
he's
even though Vince
fucking
didn't like
shit
Christian
up.
very much, yeah. They had
Yeah, man.
fucking
It- look,
Samoa Joe,
and-
AJ Styles,
but
fucking
this is the other thing too.
Coach-
You don't get
Coach
those
Ring of Honor.
guys. Look, man,
Yeah.
you don't get
You don't get them
Christian
to
as the
WWE.
ECW function
Yeah,
without
get those guys to
TNA, you know what I mean?
WWE. without TNA. 100%. But here's the thing.
And I think it's the same with like say like Jade Cargill and you know all the people going. No, but like
alright.
I'm not saying she's good. I'm not making an argument that
definitely
she's
not.
good.
She's
But I'm
definitely
just
not.
saying you don't.
I would
get,
even go
you
so
don't
far as to
get
say
these.
she's bad.
But you don't get these. I guess these changes like that, you know, without like even like with Cody Rhodes, right? You don't get Cody Rhodes in WWE how he is now, without him going to TNA, NWA, New Japan, AEW, doing all the stuff that he did. You know what I mean?
Even Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
You don't
WCPW
get it
days.
now. Yeah, man.
Yeah, like you don't get the Scottish psychopath Drew
This is where-
McIntyre without Drew Galloway on the Indies. You
Yeah,
don't
man.
get the
This is where
American
I-
Nightmare Cody Rhodes without American Nightmare Cody Rhodes on the Indies.
But I think like this is where I think where like people are like this is where I think people who are stuck on one thing get like dumb because it's all needed for each other. You know what I mean? Like you can make arguments for well your favorite thing about WWE is only a thing because of this other company
Yeah.
that you hate.
No, exactly. Like,
This is why all
and
wrestling's
that's why,
cool.
right? That's why the tribalism doesn't make sense to me. Because at the end of the day,
No.
it's not wrestling, and the rising ships. Sorry, rising
Tide
raise
raises
ships.
all ships.
Yes, that's right. Jackie Lazarus, fuck
Yeah,
you.
man. I've been told a couple times I should
And
watch
so-
quote unquote good wrestling to study, and I'm like,
just watch.
are you
good
trying to say that I
wrestling.
watch shit wrestling? Are you trying to tell me I watch shit wrestling?
Look,
Yes.
Like, because I look,
Yes,
I
they are.
think, I kind of think all wrestling's good wrestling, even bad. I think there's good elements. You can look
I
at
would
it and you can go,
argue- I would argue that New Jack has never had a good match.
he's had entertaining matches. That's good. Crowd left home. The crowd left entertained. That's still
No,
good.
the crowd left angry
I've-
and a little bit more racist than before.
Look, hey, no, that's how Jim Cornette booked him up in Smoky Mountain.
That's how Paul
He
Heyman
told-
booked him in ECW.
Yeah, I know, but it was like kind of cooler because like people listening to like rap music, whereas in Smoky Mountain they're all like rednecks and we're like,
Yeah, racism is cool.
we hate you.
Racism
Yeah.
is cool if Paul Heyman books it, but not if Jim Cornette books it.
No.
Not that I'm defending Jim
Because Jim
Cornette. I think he's a
Cornette,
fucking.
should
I was gonna say you've really
He's
changed
just-
your tune about Jimmy in this
No,
call.
no.
I don't-
I think genuinely
I
I can count
I
the
like
number
Jim
of look, I like listening to Jim Cornette just so I can go, he's really out of touch.
Incoming subjects.
Just so I can be like, all right,
Yeah.
this is what I don't want to be like as a
Yeah,
wrestling
exactly.
fan or a person.
Exactly.
Look, I think there was a point in time. He's very much like a Vince McMahon, right? There was a point in time where he had a good
Drop.
mindset, a good brain. Those times are gone. So just
Hostile incendiary.
move on.
I like listening to the or watching the Jim Cornette versus the World of Buries the
Oh.
World videos, where he's just like going off on everyone, and then there's one video that's just fully dedicated to him going off on Vince Russo.
Oh,
Only
man.
one?
That will
I'll be-
always be
I-
that will always be the best rivalry in wrestling. Like you can fuck your Shawn
I-
Michaels and versus Undertakers, or your Triple H's versus XYZ.
Everyone.
Your Bret Hart. and
Yeah.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, the real rivalry of wrestling, the true #1 rivalry of wrestling is Jim Cornette and Vince Russo.
I
Because
love
there was
it when-
there was like a 12-month period in TNA where the two coexisted,
it was
and
on.
seemingly unprompted, Jim Cornette just doubles back and goes, "Nah, fuck this guy."
It was on for a little bit there. It was fucking
It was
hectic.
so on. Oh my god.
But I love it anytime Jim Cornette shows up on the dark side of the ring because it's like we're already talking about some like juicy, fucked up stuff, but then Jim
Yeah.
Cornette's gonna come in and give his 2 cents on it.
But,
Like,
no,
fuck
like
you,
even if
bro.
it, I found a lot of the time, even if the conversation doesn't pertain to it, he'll go, "Fuck Vince Russo, fuck this dude." It's like, alright, you don't like the guy, calm down.
There's been times where I swear to God I've seen him in like dark side of the ring. Be like, I'm not a fucking idiot like that Vince Russo guy. And I'm like,
Yeah,
dude, relax.
it's like they're talking about Owen Hart, which is like an episode that has nothing to do with, like, it does have something to do with Vince Russo.
But has it?
It does,
Yeah,
the
it
fuck.
has everything.
Yeah, 'cause Vince,
Yeah,
like,
listen to Bret Hart.
Jim
He
Cornette
had Owen Hart
famously.
killed.
Jim Cornette famously once said Vince Russo killed Owen Hart, and then he was confronted about it, and he was like, "Well, I never said that Vince Russo killed Owen Hart," and it's like, you just said.
And what do you say about this footage that shows you saying exactly that?
Yeah. And it's like,
Battle.
okay, I will never, ever, ever, ever be on Vince Russo's side about pretty much anything. But I
You bad
don't,
well on a pole. No.
I don't think Vince Russo killed Owen Hart. If anything, I think it's more likely that Vince McMahon killed Owen Hart. Because if you think now,
You know what I?
this
All right,
I don't
dirt
believe
sheets,
this
do your
theory.
work.
No, I don't believe this theory.
Heavy Metal Joey Hudson confirmed. Vince
I don't-
McMahon had something to do.
I don't believe this theory, but I've
I
heard. a
don't
theory.
believe this theory.
No, I don't. I for real don't. I don't think it's true because I don't think Vince McMahon. Oh, hang on. I was gonna say, I don't
no,
think.
Bret
I
Hart.
don't think.
That's,
I don't think Vince McMahon. I was gonna say I don't think Vince McMahon would have someone killed, but
yeah, he totally would. He's the kind of
yeah,
guy.
I didn't think he'd sex traffic either.
Exactly right.
But like, yeah, people are like,
I
oh,
thought he was
well,
a harmless, creepy old man, not
Vince,
an actual.
yeah. Not
I thought he was a
not
harmless,
harmful-
creepy old man, not a dangerous, creepy
Not
old
a
man.
dangerous one.
Like, you're, like, there's always that one family member that makes like the inappropriate comment, and everybody's like, that's just Dave.
The one that you're
Uncle
kind of
Joe.
hoping
And, like-
doesn't show up at like Christmas dinner.
Yeah. No, but like, for real, it's not plausible that Vince had Owen killed for breaking Steve Austin's neck.
Well, if
You
ask-
break his neck, I'll break
it's
your
because-
life.
It's because Bret Hart went to stand fuck him over with the, as like it was like all of the fallout because of the screw job.
Really should have just switched.
I don't even. Well, look, fuck. Would Vince be that petty? I think it's more likely it was over Austin. If it's true, I think it'd be over Austin, not over the screw job.
You know what the Vince McMahon documentary where Bret Hart like says that? He's basically like, people have told me that that's
yeah.
not true, but I believe it. I
That's
think
that
he would.
kind of caught me. That kind of caught me off guard because Brett has always been very good. Like he's always been very sensible about Owen's death. He's never been like,
Yes.
I blame Vince
No, he's always-
McMahon. He was always like,
Ah!
it's very tragic
Sorry, I
what
fell off
happened
a
to
train.
Owen. I'm very sad about it. And it, like, if you listen to him talk about Owen in the the Broken Skull session he did with Steve Austin, all he wants to do when Owen gets brought up is talk about how good of a wrestler Owen was.
Is it all in one
And so
place?
when he talks about Owen in the Vince McMahon documentary,
I
and
guess
he's like,
it's
I wouldn't put it past Vince to have killed my brother. I was kind of like, oh,
That's a
okay, Brett.
that's
Really?
a statement.
the only
That
time
is certainly a statement.
It's like
Yeah.
the other spots weren't really the spot to talk about that. You know what I mean?
No, I
Like, you're
suppose
gonna,
not. Yeah, you're not gonna go
Austin's not gonna be like, what was your relationship with your brother like? And he's like, well, you see,
Vince had him
McMahon
killed. For breaking your neck,
And
Steve.
he's like,
Yeah, that would have been a really.
I've
bad
I've
time
been
to
waiting
bring
for
that up.
years to bring this up, and it just so
That
happens
would've been a
that
really
today
bad time.
happens to be the day
That
where
would have.
I've
that
seen
would've
an
ended that
opportunity.
episode super quick. That would have ended that
if
episode
that's
super
how that it went, that Dean Ambrose wouldn't have copped so much hate for his interview.
quick. I think he still would have fucked Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, fuck Dean Ambrose.
no,
John
look.
Moxley, on the other hand, great dude.
No, fuck John Moxley.
No, look,
Fuck them both.
Dean Ambrose tried with the tools.
Oh,
He just wasn't given a lot. He just wasn't given a lot.
He really
After the
wasn't.
Shield,
Dude,
He was given-
he was
he was-
he was
dude,
given
dude.
Mitch.
Dude, he was given. Yeah, Mitch the Potted Plant. He was given Mitch, and he blew it.
Yeah.
He blew it. He
No,
blew
but-
Mitch.
like his angle.
I love hearing
His
Jericho
angle
talk, like tell the
was
story
great.
about getting Mitch.
I can't fucking stand Chris Jericho. Alright? For real?
Okay.
Worst,
Look, on one
worst
side I
thing
get
to come
it.
out of Canada. Worst thing to come out of Canada is Chris Jericho after 50.
Like on one side I get it, but
I-
listening to him tell stories, it's just he's
Like
such
Chris
a good storyteller.
I'm gonna say this point. I'm gonna end this game so I can go to bed.
Okay.
I love the Learning Tree.
I get it.
I love it because of why he did it and what it represents and why everybody hates it. Love it.
But then everyone fell in
So it's
love
like, I
with
love
Big
it.
Bill, and it's like, oh,
But it's like I love it because people hate it. and he's just playing to that. You
Mm.
know?
Yeah, him being like, "Don't worry, guys, I've got TV time." It's like, it's the self-aware character.
Yes. Sorry, Joe. I did end that very abruptly.
That's alright. It's fine. I won anyway.
That's right, you shithead.
Also, Halo
I was
Halo
just-
3 is 95% downloaded.
Well, yeah,
That's
I'll
all my
get it,
dailies.
though.
Hey, I got best play as well.
I'll make sure I
Alright,
download
alright.
everything else. Alright, bye Brian.
Bye,
Zach called
Brian.
me an ableist.
Sorry, why are you being
This has
ableist?
been the Random Wrestling Thoughts podcast,
Because I asked him why he
featuring
doesn't
some
have a
COD
voice,
gameplay in the
and Zach was
background.
like, he's not ableist, I guess.
Jesus Christ.
We'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.
Alright, see you boys.